Welcome to the Trump Breaking News Network, your daily source for up-to-the-minute Trump news. Join us today and every day. Here's today's news.
This is TBNN.
This is Why We Need the Wall. By Tyler Durden. Submitted by Jim Quinn via the Burning Platform blog. Why can't brain-dead liberals understand the need for a wall after seeing these statistics? How can we have an unsecured border with a failed third world state, where murder and drugs are the two biggest imports? Mexico was second deadliest country in 2016. CNN, it was the second deadliest conflict in the world last year, but it hardly registered in the international headlines. As Syria, Iraq and Afghanistan dominated the news agenda, Mexico's drug wars claimed 23,000 lives during 2016, second only to Syria, where 50,000 people died as a result of the civil war. This is all the more surprising, considering that the conflict deaths, in Mexico, are nearly all attributable to small arms, said John Chipman, Chief Executive and Director General of the International Institute for Strategic Studies, IISS, which issued its annual survey of armed conflict on Tuesday. The wars in Iraq and Afghanistan claim 17,000 and 16,000 lives respectively in 2016, although in lethality they were surpassed by conflicts in Mexico and Central America, which have received much less attention from the media and the international community, said Anastasia Vornkova, the editor of the survey. In comparison, there were 17,000 conflict deaths in Mexico in 2015 and 15,000 in 2014 according to the IISS. Rising death toll. Vornkova said the number of homicides rose in 22 of Mexico's 32 states during 2016 and the rivalries between cartels increased in violence. It is noteworthy that the largest rises in fatalities were registered in states that were key battlegrounds for control between competing, increasingly fragmented cartels, she said. The violence grew worse as the cartels expanded the territorial reach of their campaigns, seeking to cleanse areas of rivals in their efforts to secure monopoly on drug trafficking routes and other criminal assets. Mexican drug cartels take in between $19 billion and $29 billion annually from U.S. drug sales, according to the Department of Homeland Security. Rivalries between the cartels wreak havoc on the lives of civilians who have nothing to do with narcotics. Bystanders, people who refuse to join cartels, migrants, journalists and government officials have all been killed. Not on news agenda. Jacob Parakilas, assistant head of the U.S. and the Americas program at London-based think tank Chatham House, said part of the reason for the relative lack of attention paid to Mexico in the international media is it's not a war in the political sense of the word. The participants largely don't have a political objective. They're not trying to create a breakaway state. It doesn't come with the same visuals. There are no airstrikes. Also, this has been going on since the beginning of the modern drug trade in the Americas. It's not news in that sense. And Mexico is one of the most dangerous countries in the world to be a journalist. They are intentionally targeted in Mexico, which puts a dampener on the ability to report on this. Drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman is facing trial in New York. There have, however, been significant arrests in relation to the Mexican drug trade in recent times. Damaso Lopez Núñez, a high-ranking leader of Mexico's Sinaloa drug cartel, was arrested on May 2 in Mexico City and could face charges in the U.S., authorities said. His arrest follows January's extradition of Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, who is accused of running the Sinaloa cartel, one of the world's largest drug trafficking organizations. He awaits trial in New York on 17 counts accusing him of running a criminal enterprise responsible for importing and distributing massive amounts of narcotics and conspiring to murder rivals. Why hasn't Trump done anything about building this wall yet?
That's the news. Join us here every day. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell. See you next time.
This is TBNN.